So for this shoulder mobility and stability focused routine, you're just going to need two small, like handish size rolled up towels and your blocks. Okay. So coming over onto a mat so you have a soft surface to be on. You could be either cross-legged or sitting sit bones on heels. And we're just going to start with some shoulder CARs. This is just kind of gently mobilizing through the shoulder. You're drawing little circles around your shoulder joint. So think about arm bones kind of gliding around in a really smooth motion through your shoulder, thinking kind of back, around, and front. No tension through your arms. So make sure your hands are really relaxed on top of your thighs. And take all the tension away from your jaw and think really soft through your neck. And as you're kind of rolling up and back and around, you're widening through your collarbone, but nothing is moving except your shoulders. And now circle the other way. 4, 3, keeping everything else really still, just that shoulder joint moving. Last one. Great. Grabbing your rolled up towels. You're going to put them just under your lower armpits, kind of about around your rib cage. And you're just going to be holding onto them very softly, not squeezing them. They're just there for a little bit of feedback. Use your thighs to help you roll down onto your back. And then elbows will be hovering off the mat just slightly, but your shoulder blades are melted into the floor. So you're not lurching or hiking your shoulder blade up. And just relax down. Palms face your body, feet planted into the floor. Nothing is moving. Keeping a nice steady spine. You're just going to exhale, start to glide those hands out, thumbs towards the floor, and then coming back to center. And then palms face each other, and then same thing, gliding out, and then coming back. So hands finishing at about shoulder width, and then again, and palms face you, gliding out, draw it in, palms face each other, gliding out. So you're gently holding onto that towel. We're alternating that palm position, but you're keeping your shoulder blades melting into the floor. So don't worry how far you're going out at this point. As soon as you start to feel that feeling of that, stop, don't go any further. Just kind of starting to work on that external rotation through your joint, the shoulder joint. One more time, gliding out, coming back in. Great. Now you're going to bring the towels and put them down on either side of you. And then you're going to rest your wrists on top of them. Melt your elbows into the floor. Same thing. We're focusing on that relaxation of the back of your shoulders into the floor. Neck is soft and the tops of your shoulders are relaxed. Same thing. We're avoiding this lurching motion. So those shoulders not doing that. Melt those shoulders into the floor, and then you can do a little slide up, whatever range is possible. As soon as you start to feel that, pause, and then slide back down. Sliding up. So same thing. We're just focusing on the movement at your shoulder. You're trying to keep your spine pretty quiet. This is just focusing on that range now of that external rotation now with that overhead movement. But really focusing on that position of your shoulder. So we don't want any of that. So just going in, it could be a small movement. That's fine. And making sure you're breathing. Last one. Sliding back down. And then you're going to come for me. Fingertips pointed straight up to the ceiling. Reach your arms up, keeping your hands shoulder width. And now melt your shoulder blades into the floor. Press your feet into the floor. Peel your spine up off the mat. Pause when you get to your shoulder blades. Melt them in more and then reach your thumbs overhead. Inhale, then exhale. Roll down through your spine, trying to keep those thumbs reaching back. And then once you glide into that tailbone, slide your fingertips back up. And again, exhale, peel your spine up off the mat. Melt into your shoulder blades so you feel a widening through your collarbone. Reach your thumbs back. And then roll down through your spine, all the way down into that tailbone. Glide those fingertips back up. One more time. Curling up Melt into your shoulder blades, reach your thumbs back, feeling soft through your neck and upper shoulders, rolling down, 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 melting into that tailbone. Glide those fingertips back up. Bringing those elbows down onto the mat, and then you're going to come out into a T position with those arms. Now I want you to find that position. Your hands should be kind of just below the line of your shoulders. And then same thing, no lurching with that shoulder. Melt those shoulders into the floor. Feet stay hip width, knees stay hip width. You're going to start to exhale, slowly glide your knees over to one side. So I'm going over to the right. And then you're going to look over that opposite shoulder and take a nice breath in, melting into your shoulders. Inhale. And then exhale, press into the outside and inside edge of your feet to glide back up. And then we're going to go to the other side. So slowly glide over to the left. And then you're melting into that right shoulder. Nice breath in, breathing into your ribs. And then exhale, coming back up. One more time each side. Slowly gliding over to one side. Eye gaze looks over to the other. Inhale into that top rib cage. Exhale, control to glide back up. Last one, gliding over to the other side. Eye gaze looks the other direction. Inhale into that top rib cage. And then exhale, gliding back up. And then slowly coming up onto one side. And then we're going to roll all the way onto your stomach, grabbing your blocks on the way. And you're going to put the blocks either side of the mat. Just pop the towels out of the way. And then you're going to bring the blocks lengthways. Elbows are on the blocks. And the line of your elbow is just below the line of your shoulder. So you're not above. And then I want you to really melt into those shoulder blades and let your pubic bone really melt into the floor. Tip of your nose is on the mat. And then same thing, we're avoiding this kind of feeling of wanting to lurch or kind of hike up through your shoulders. Feel that feeling of kind of melting, feeling a gentle connection into your armpits. Pressing your elbows firmly into the block. You're going to exhale, really straight wrist, start to reach that wrist and hand up. Same thing, it could be a really small movement and then coming back down. And you can bring your forehead all the way down onto the floor if you're feeling any compression in your spine. Keep that pubic bone melting into the floor. Exhale. Really think about that elbow kind of being that kind of pivot joint to allow you, and now focusing on the external rotation in this position through that shoulder. Exhale, glide it up. Inhale, lower. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Really keeping that wrist really straight. So keep energy kind of going through your fingertips. Last two. Rotate it up and down. Last one. Rotate it up and down. Then you're going to extend your arms straight into that T. Glide your arms up off the blocks. Reach your fingertips to your toes. Keeping the tip of your nose on the mat, barely hovering off the mat. We're going to do some, I want you to kind of think about from your shoulders, you're going to rotate so your palms face the floor. And then from your shoulders, rotate palms face the ceiling. So really kind of visualize the movement from your arm is happening from your shoulder. And while we're doing this, keeping that feeling of really heavy through the front of your pelvis and almost like you're reaching long through the crown of your head. So like the top of your head. So there's length in the back of your neck. 2 and 1. And now you're going to bring palms face the floor. And then you're going to bend your elbows, slide the back of your palms up along your butt. And then you're going to rotate your head to one side. And then let your elbows relax down on the floor. Take a breath in. And then exhale, you're going to shoulder blades. They're going to glide those elbows up, not much past the line of your shoulder. Rotate to the tip of your nose is back on the floor. And then you're going to rotate to the other side. Let those elbows rest down. Inhale, and then exhale, glide those elbows up. Rotate tip of your nose on the floor. Inhale. Exhale, rotate back down. Let those elbows relax. Inhale. Exhale, tip of your nose glides onto the mat. Glide those elbows up, shoulder blades do the movement. One more time on the other side. Rotating, relax your head down, elbows relax down. Shoulder blades initiate that movement. And then rotating tip of your nose back onto the mat. And then slide those fingertips down to your toes. Now point palms to the floor. And then reach all the way back up into that T. And then bring your hands back down into that position on the block. Let your forehead rest down here. And just take a few breaths in. And then slowly coming forward into that Superman position. If anything feels uncomfortable in your shoulder, that's just don't do it, and we'll talk about it next time. But glide your elbows down into the mat and slide them back towards you. So you're starting a little tiny chest lift, but the action is coming from your shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades are gliding into your armpits, and the front of your rib cage is pressing gently into the mat. So it's a small lift just from that mid back. So we're really focusing on your thoracic spine here, not your lower back. If you're feeling anything in your low back, make it lower. Bring your head down onto the mat and focus on that wrapping into your armpits. Eye gaze is staying down on the mat. One more breath. And then lower down. And then just to finish, you're going to come onto your side. Just going to do a couple of thoracic rotations. Head on the block is a little pillow. And then block between your knees. So we're going to focus on the movement from your rib cage here. Bottom arms relax down on the floor. I have it in like a stop sign position because that's kind of comfortable. But just wherever your shoulder feels comfortable. Your top hand is going to kind of give you feedback because we're focusing on the movement from your ribs. So trying to minimize the movement from your pelvis. It's okay if it moves a bit, but I want you to focus on, we're going to glide around from your ribs, relaxing into that upper shoulder. And then you're just going to let that hand kind of scrape along the top of your ribs, relaxing into that top shoulder. Inhale, and then exhale, coming back around. So really trying to minimize that movement from your lower body and focusing on that movement through your rib cage. Breathing into your ribs here, relaxing into that shoulder. Inhale, and then exhale, coming back. One more time. Glide that top hand around those ribs. Breathe into your rib cage. And then exhale, coming back around. And then slowly, you can take the block out, or if you feel steady, you can just bring it with you. And we're going to go to the other side. So relaxing that bottom shoulder into the mat. I'm going to show you from the back side so you can see both ways. And now you're going to see that top arm relax into that shoulder, and then it's that motion of gliding around through those ribs. If you're feeling any pinching anywhere in your back, let your hips come with you a little bit more, and make it a slightly smaller movement. Inhale in the rotation and exhale, gliding back around. Two more. Exhale, gliding around those ribs. Take a nice breath in there. And then exhale, coming back around. One more time. Exhale, inhale, and then exhale, gliding back around. Slowly pressing up. Finishing with a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Spread your fingers wide, connect into your armpits. Think about a nice long spine to start. Inhale. Exhale, press up into your armpits and press up through your knees. Let your chin to relax to your chest. Inhale in between your shoulder blades. And then exhale, think about really lengthening along the length of your spine. You're not compressing, it's more of a lengthening. One more time. Curl up. Then breathe in the curl. It's that expansive breath that's really important here. And then exhale, It's a feeling of releasing in through your sit bones and a gentle lift through your chest, but we're not doing that. It's just a much smaller motion.